Hey there, folks. Welcome to day 65 of my year of solo board gaming, which has been considered by many to be ill-advised and stupid. We are doing Adapt or Die week here, which means that we're playing games that are all adaptations of a sort. Now, you may be looking at this going like, this isn't an adaptation or something. What's going on? At a certain point, you have to start shoehorning some of these games into categories if you want to play them. So we've done Buffy the Vampire Slayer, we've done Princess Bride, and so this is adapted from Shakespeare, specifically The Dark Lady. And there's a whole book of information about the Dark Lady of the Sonnets in here. And it's wonderful reading, but I'm not going to read any of that. Read any of that here on the stream. Instead, we're going to go ahead and play Black Sonata. I'm just going to try to make sure I'm facing correctly here. Okay. It's something that should not exist. It's a solitaire hidden movement game, which theoretically should not be possible, but they managed to do it with some clever use of cards, and I'm going to show you some of the ones that we did not use. These cards have little alphabetic sequences at the top, and what you do is you put the cards in alphabetical order and you skip some. So we're using the upper right, and you'll notice that there are little dashes in the upper right hand corner. Those cards got skipped as part of the sequence. And basically, by putting them in alphabetical order, it'll give you a sequence of moves for the Dark Lady. Now, she might not move every time, but will follow a certain sequence, so you can actually try to figure out where she is. And then you'll use that information to try to figure out clues about her. Now, each of the Dark Ladies, 8 possible suspects or 12 possible suspects, is of a specific suit. So in this case, it's going to be of the green variety. And then you have to figure out what the traits are on the Dark Lady, and she might be musical, she might have kids, she might be married, and so on. And so, once you figure out the 3 components of her, you say that that's what the Dark Lady is, and then you flip over the card, which is right here. And if you match, you win! Yay! And you can go through the deck about 3 times, and you can use these fog cards to help you out. You'll have to put them in as part of the process when you go to check a location. You only have so many, but you can use fog cards when you come across them again. So the way that each movement goes, we are going to first update the Dark Lady's location. Move the top stealth card to the bottom of the deck. And you always want to be careful about not revealing cards that are coming up. So they recommend that you hold the thing in your hand, and you'll notice that currently she is at a place that has beer. So she might be at Eastcheap, and you can choose where to put your pawn. So we'll go ahead and actually put our pawn at Eastcheap. But she might also be at Southwark, and I think that's it for beer. So now we're going to update the Dark Lady's location. And again, I just want to make sure that I'm doing this right. Okay. Now what I could do is I could go one away. So if I wanted to, I could go London Bridge, which has coins and a rowboat. I could go Liberty of the Clink, which has house, rowboat, and play. Or I could go one of these 2 locations up here, which also have some unique symbols as well. I think what I might do is I might actually, instead of starting on Eastcheap, let's assume that we want to be in the position, because you can move your pawn after you advance the Dark Lady, but you can't then search on that same turn. So you have to move your pawn or search or confront the Dark Lady. You can't do all 3 or 2 of the 3. So it does make it a little bit difficult to sort of plan in advance. So this is a duplicated symbol. The coins, if it comes up coins next, the Dark Lady could be Cornhill or London Bridge. If it comes up the rowboat, it's London Bridge or Liberty of the Clink. If it's the house, it's Bishopsgate or Liberty of the Clink. And then finally, if it's the play, the faces, or the cross, it's one or the other. It's that specifically. So we could let us start at Bishopsgate, and maybe we'll get lucky here. So what we're doing is we're assuming that the Dark Lady is going to move. We've heard that she's having a beer somewhere. So let's see. Advance the Dark Lady one. She's at a house. All right, so the house is actually on Bishopsgate. It's also on Liberty of the Clink. We would have been correct on either one of those. But we are in a location. We could choose to search now. We could just jump right into it. All right, we're going to do that. We're actually going to try. Also, you have to take these locations as you visit them. So We're currently at Bishopsgate. We'll go ahead and put Bishopsgate down there. Once you have visited all of the locations, then you can go ahead and reveal this last card here, which will help you narrow down the person as well. So what you want to do is you want to take Bishopsgate and you want to slide it under the top card here. You'll notice I'm being very careful. Oh no, sorry, not Bishopsgate. You want to take a fog card, and that fog card is going to go right under the top card here so you don't see what's behind it. Then we are going to take the Bishopsgate key. Make sure I'm doing this correctly. Yeah, we're going to place this over this. So now you notice that the top of the deck is now a fog. We're going to take this and flip it over. And the Dark Lady appears. So shall thou feed on death that feeds on men, and death once dead, there's no more dying then. So she's here. She's actually here, which is pretty awesome. Then what we do, we may now reveal the top card of the clue deck because she's actually in the location that we're at. So yay. And you do this without revealing anything else here. So we've got an acorn. We have Penelope Rich. And the way that this works is that you'll notice Penelope Rich has a few different tokens here. She could be married, she has a baby, married, and is royalty. And then these symbols indicate what she has in common. How many of these symbols match depending on the suit. So she has 0 of 2 of these traits. That means she either has none of them. I'll go ahead and group them like this. She either has none of them, or she has 2 of them. So could be 2 of those or none of those. We obviously don't have enough to figure this out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this. We have successfully visited that location. And then she's going to flee. You discard the stealth card from the game. That's these things here. So this is going to get discarded. It's going to go back over here. And then we are going to go ahead and advance. The Dark Lady then flees. Basically, you advance the stealth card by 1 card for every clue that you have. Now we have 1 clue so far. So we are going to advance this by 1. Now that means we actually get to see the next location. Before, and that's at we're now at the start of the next turn. So now at the start of the next turn, the Dark Lady advances again. So we know that she's here. Like, we actually know that. And she is going to move 1 more location. So we'll just slide this out like this. And she could be at Bishopsgate or Cripplegate. She could be either of those. Assuming that she's on the move, which she might not be. She might not be on the move. What's a good place to be? I think we're going to go here. And we're going to use these Dark Lady trackers to basically indicate here or here. Because we don't know which ones of these she's going to be at. So now that we've moved, we go ahead and advance again. She's now at a forest. We want to take this one off the board, indicating that she's already been there. So she's at a forest, which means she's not... It doesn't really matter if she was here or here. She's now moved to either here or here. We can continue onward. Trying to think of the best way to cut her off. We're going to go ahead and move to St. Paul's, because then we can move to Blackfriars, and hopefully... And I don't know if we can take the location... I think it's only if we search at that location that can we take the card. I could be wrong. Post it in the comments. All right, so now we advance again. and she is at where a house is. So now we've got a whole bunch of stuff here that is going to be difficult to manage. She could be any of these locations using the symbols on there. We could stay where we are. We're at a spot where two of the two locations will reach, and if it comes up across, she's either going to be at Clerkenwell or St. Paul. So I think we're actually going to stay. And part of the game is this. Part of the game is figuring out how to stop someplace and actually be ready to search for the Dark Lady if she happens to move there. So we're going to advance it one more time. She is now on Forest. So we go back to just these ones. Part of me wants to go to Cripplegate and search there. I'm going to move to Blackfriars and hopefully search there on the next turn. Okay. She's at a rowboat. She's at a rowboat, and we actually, since we've been tracking where she's been going, and we know that she's got to be adjacent to a rowboat, or it has to be a rowboat adjacent to a location she was at, this is where she is. We're going to do a search. So we slide the fog thing in here so we don't see what the next card is. And then we take Blackfriars. We put it underneath, like so. And we flip it over, and there's the Dark Lady. For I have sworn thee fair and thought thee bright, who art as black as hell, as dark as night. And we successfully found the Dark Lady again. So we can go ahead and discard, put these into the active locations. We visited both of them, and we can draw yet another clue card from here. All right, so now we have Marie Mountjoy. We know that it's going to be 0 or 2 of these as well, and we can actually set this up again like this. So now this is an interesting question. This is interesting. I think we actually know that this is a character trait of the Dark Lady, and here's why. So for these two cards, you can have 0 or 2 of these sets, and that comprises 6 of the clue tokens. There's no way to get 1 out of there. So this could be 0, this could be 2, this could be 2, this could be 0. There are 3 clue tokens total. This has to be one of them. Otherwise, there's no way to get 3 out of this group of 6. And in fact, one of these 2 sets is the other source of the source of the other 2, and the other set is the source that we can ignore. So we do know that she is musical. That is her first trait. We now will advance the clue deck, or advance the search deck by the number of clues that we've found. So that's going to be 2. And we have to make sure that we don't look at them. We have to do it as a block. So we're going to take 2 cards, move those to the bottom, and she is now at a drama place. Now here's the thing. She got to move 1 spot without us knowing it, and then moved 1 more spot onto, like, this is 1 more spot on top of that. And she cannot get to the theater over in Shoreditch in the amount of time that would have taken. So she is at Liberty of the Clink right now. I can actually say that for sure. She could also be at Blackfriars. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that there was a bunch of play stuff there. So she could be at Blackfriars or Liberty Theater. We're going to advance the deck again. She is now on the move. She is at a place with a house on it, which could be Blackfriars or Liberty of the Clink. And I don't think there's any other locations that we can go to. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to search again. We're doing really well here. Blackfriar was here. So again, we're going to take one of the fog cards. We're going to slide it in here so we don't see what's going on. We're going to take this search card. We're going to put the location underneath. I think it's like that. And then flip it over. And she's not there. Oh, we screwed up. Okay. So she's not there. So she's got to be here. We can actually go ahead and move that again. Now, if you do not find it, she still flees. So she is still going to advance 2 more locations without us knowing exactly where. And she's going to end up at a place with a cross on it. And that is really, I think we're going to lose her at this point. So we know that she was at Liberty of the Friars. She advanced at least one spot without us knowing it, and then she got to a place with a cross. That means that any of these locations she could be at. And now we're going to go ahead. She could not have gotten over to Bishopsgate, so that's the one saving grace there. So we know that that's not the case. So the Dark Lady continues to go. She will be at a place that has coins in it. So that'll be either here or here. And we're kind of pretty far away, so we're just going to have to move, I think. If I'm guessing where she's going, it's probably up in this direction. So we're going to move back to St. Paul's. Next location is beer. She's at a place with beer, so she could be at the George Inn. She could be at the Boar's Head Inn, and I think that's it. I don't think that there are any other places that have beer in them, period. So it's either East Cheap or Southwark. We're going to go ahead and move to Cornhill. The next location is going to be a place with a house on it. So that is going to be either Bishopsgate or Liberty of the Clink. And we're going to, I think what we're going to do is we're going to chill here and see where she goes from here. Trees. She's at a place with trees. That means, and keep in mind, she could actually simply be at the same location, just not moving forward. But I think that means since the only two places with the trees are Shoreditch and Clerkenwell, she has got to be up in Shoreditch. So we're going to move up to Cripplegate, try to catch up with her there. She is now at a place with a house. So she's either moved here or at Cripplegate, and we're going to go ahead and search Cripplegate. So again, we take the fog card. If the fog card deck ever runs out, you're done. That's it. Game over. East Cheap, Clerkenwell, Cripplegate. There we go. We're going to take the top card off here. Put it Cripplegate underneath. Flip it over. The Dark Lady. Make but my name thy love, and love that still, and then thou lovest me for my name is will. So we've successfully done another card. By the way, you might notice that the background here is not my normal background for the table. When I started setting it up, I looked at the color of the table and the color of the board, and it was indistinguishable. This is the same color as my table, so I decided to play out what we have down here is the next game. Excitement. What could it be? What could it be? But we have successfully searched, so we're going to get to draw one more clue. This might be enough to tell us who she is. All right. So we've got musical note, child, and chain. I don't think it's going to be enough because this is telling us that it's two, so we could still be either set of two here. But it is going to be either this or this. So whichever one is the case, that's what we're going to do. And now, and now she's going to run away even further. So now we're going to do 3 cards because we have 3 clues total. And we know that she's someplace with beer. But since she's advanced 2 locations, I think at this point we just have to assume that she is on the run. She was at Cripplegate. She could not have made it down here, could she? She's at East Cheap. She didn't run that far. She ran to the beer. Now we advance the Dark Lady, the stealth deck again. She is currently at a boat. So we actually know she is currently at London Bridge. We will make our way down here and try to catch her up here. She's at a place with beer, so she could be at East Cheap. She could be at Southwark. We'll move to Blackfriars. She is at a playhouse. She cannot make it all the way to Shoreditch or Blackfriars. She is at Liberty of the Clink. We will chill here. It's a cross. Oh no! She's moved back this way. Now which way to go? I think we move here. She has now moved to a money spot, so she's moved here. I'm going to continue to follow her this way and hope that she doubles back. Now we get to the countdown deck, and the countdown deck is basically these numbered cards You don't count them as far as the advancing the deck goes. It's just a counter in here to tell you how much longer you have. So now we're on 1, and we know that she is moved to a place with beer. This goes down to the bottom. And now we're going to go ahead and search Southwark. Now, I'm not sure if we did Southwark already. We did not. Let's keep these face up so it's easier to see. Southwark. All right, so Southwark. We're going to go ahead and we're going to move. The other thing to remember is that the more clues that you find, the farther away she runs every time that you try to search for her. Not whether you're successful, just whether you search for her. So there we go. That's in there. We're going to take the top card off there. And now we got Southwark down below, and she's not there. Okay, so she's not at Southwark. We do know that she was at East Cheap, which may or may not be that helpful. We're going to advance the deck 3 cards. So 1, 2, 3. And she is now at a place with a house in it. So I think it's entirely possible. I think we're just going to, because I think all the houses are equally accessible based on how far she just went. So we're going to have to use all 4 tokens and just simply have her out at all these places. Let's go ahead and move to Liberty of the Theater. She's now at a place with Forest, which means that she wasn't here. She's now either here or here. She's now back at a house, which is really not... Oh, sorry, I should have moved. There we go. She's now back at a house. Do I think that she is currently... Let's go to St. Paul's, because that's kind of equidistant from a lot of them. It's going to be Woods, so we're back up here again. I'm going to go to Blackfriars and hopefully cut her off there. We now have fog, so we can't search for her when there's fog. But what we can do is we can use the fog to search or do special actions. And I just want to make sure I do this correctly. If the top card of the stealth deck is a fog card, then the lady still moves along the same path, but the fog prevents you from searching for her that turn. However, you may optionally use the fog card special action. To do so, take the top card from the fog deck and slide it face down beneath the fog card at the top of the stealth deck. And if there are no cards left in the fog deck, then you lose the game. So now what these do, I have no idea. But essentially we're putting that in there so that we still keep the same number of cards in the same order. Look ahead at the backs of the next 5 stealth cards. Oh, that's awesome. And then this, I believe, then place the card on the bottom of the stealth deck, fog deck, unless you are instructed to discard it from the game. So we don't have to discard this, but we get to look ahead at the next 5 stealth cards. So, and then it's going to be a fog, a boat, a play, fog, and a house. So if we think about this, we know that she moved one more time, but it does appear that she could not have been up here because we have to get to a boat somehow. We can't get to a boat that quickly from where she is. Can we? No, because it then has to go back to a so the boat is one of these. The play is also then one of these. And the house is also one of those. So we're going to have a couple here where she's going to be. We're going to stay here at the gatehouse, and we're just going to flip that over. Now we have we now advanced the lady. She's currently at the boathouse, and we're going to search Blackfriars. So we take a fog, place it under here so we can't see the next one, even though we've already seen it. We then take the Blackfriars, put it underneath the boat, and she's not there. Oh, crud. Oh, crud. That's not good. Discard that. We advance by 3. 1, 2, 3. She's now at a house that is 2 away from... We knew she was here. She then went to here, and then 2 spaces away she was at a house. I think she could be at any of these, unfortunately. And then we're going to advance the deck. She's now at a cross. So that could be Southwark all the way over here. She's now at coins, so she was at Southwark. Actually, she could be Cornhill or London Bridge. We're going to go ahead and start getting back on the move again. Beer. She could be any of these. We'll go ahead and move over to Cornhill. House. So she's either at Bishopsgate or she's at Liberty of the Clink. We'll stay at Cornhill, I think. Trees. So she's up here at Shoreditch. We'll move over here to Cripplegate. Fog, so we can't do anything. Which means she's going to be either here or here. We do know that. Or here. Like, she could have not moved. So, and we can actually do a fog action if we want. We may as well. The last one was really helpful for us. So we're going to slide this in under here. Move your pawn to a neighboring location. And then that's going to go down to the bottom of here. The question is, do we think that that would be helpful? I'm going to move it to Cornhill. If the next one is money, then we'll be able to search Cornhill for her. It's a cross. Yay. So she's there, there, or there. That does not really help. I'm going to move down to here just because I need to kind of get somewhere else, I think. Coins. So she is here. She is at that location. We were just there. We're going to chill here, I think. Beer! We know she's here. We know she's here in East Cheap. Slide that in there. And now we're going to put East Cheap under here, and we have found the Dark Lady. So that's another one. We have successfully found her in East Cheap. We have to draw another clue. Still not enough, really, to determine who is what. I'm going to start sliding these a little bit over here since we've used their deductions. We now know that she has one of these in place. So we know, actually we already know that it's one of these. We therefore know that since there's only one here, but it is one of these, that it's not this. So this is, we can turn that over. We still don't know if it's these two or if it's 2 of these, like this and one of these 2. But we're now continuing to narrow it down. Unfortunately, we now have 4 clues, so she is going to skedaddle. 1, 2, 3, 4. And she could be anywhere at this point. So we're just going to go ahead and mark each of the places where there's a cross. And then we're going to advance the deck. She's now at a money place, so she's here or here. We're not going to move the deck. We then flip this over to 0, so we are on our last turn. We're going to go ahead and use a fog card. Move your pawn to any location of your choice. I am going to go ahead and move it down to here, I think. Let's move it to here. I have a good feeling about it. Let's move it to here, Liberty of the Clink. And then that's going to go to the bottom of the fog deck. We have one more fog that we can do, so we'll do that. Oh no, wait. Sorry, this was meant to go down here, but we do still have one more fog that we can do. Discard the top card from the fog deck. That's not good. That's going to leave us 2 more fogs, so we have 2 more searches that we can do to try to find her. She's currently at a play, And I think we're just going to have to risk searching her here at Liberty of the Clink. Oops. I'm supposed to do this first so I didn't see the next card. Honestly, the next card was so useless anyway. And she's not there. So she was, in fact, over here, I think. I don't think we're going to win this game. I honestly don't. I think we might have to throw a Hail Mary on the next turn. But she does advance 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's now at a place with woods, which is going to be here or here. So we're going to go to Blackfriars. We have a fog. We're not going to do anything with that. We have a fog. And then a play. Do we do it? Do we risk looking for her at... I don't think we do. We then have... Sorry, I'm not even holding these up on screen, am I? Fog. House. She could be anywhere. She literally could be anywhere. Except here. She can't be here. Okay, she's at a cross, which means she's at one of these locations. She could be at St. Paul's. We're going to go ahead and risk it. This is not good. We're actually going to confront her. Can we confront her? Yeah, we can confront her. We can't gain a clue card, I think, at the same time. So, but we are looking at, where are we? We are currently at St. Paul's. There we go. She's there. We are going to confront her. We're going to do a Hail Mary here. And we're going to say it's these 3. And here's the thing. It could have been this and this. It's a 1 in 3 shot, really. I just want to make sure that that is the case, that I don't get to draw another clue card. You may not gain a clue. You may not search to gain a clue and then confront the lady in the same turn. So we were confronting her. We were looking to confront her. And have we successfully identified the Dark Lady? We did it. Yeah! All right. So that is pretty awesome. I know that I was keeping the deck a little off the screen. I do apologize. If I do an actual full playthrough of this, like a proper playthrough video, I will make sure that the deck stays on screen. But we did it. We found her. It's Amelia Lanier. They do not recommend playing a lot of these games in a row, just simply because you will start to memorize the sequences as well as the clue combinations on the cards. But it is, for what it is, I mean, it is essential. It is not, should not exist. This should not exist as a solitaire game. One more thing I'm going to mention here is that this is produced by the Gaming Goat gaming company. Now, I live near a Gaming Goat. I think the owner of the Gaming Goat store near us is a great guy, an amazing guy. He's got a couple different Gaming Goat locations here in Arizona. And he is salt of the earth. Gaming Goat ran into some problems when it produced a game. It was backing a game where one of the cards had what looked to be roughly one of those white power symbols, where it's doing the thing with the looks like it's supposed to be an OK symbol, but it's actually a white power symbol. And it was also a frog, and it kind of had that Pepe the Frog look to it. Now, I think it was an accident? Yeah, I think it was an accident. I think somebody inadvertently made it look way too sketch. But I don't think that there was necessarily bad intent until I saw the reactions to it. And the person who actually owns the Gaming Goat overall, I felt had a really over-the-top reaction to being called out for it. So Do I have frustrations with the Gaming Goat for putting potentially racist content in their game? No, I don't think it was intentional. Do I have a problem with the fact that Gaming Goat, when called out on it, did not respond well? Yes, I do. Nonetheless, we still have two Gaming Goat games that we will be playing. This was one of them, Black Sonata. The other is going to be Duffers, which I'll have some interesting comments when we get to. But that is pretty much it. I thank you for joining me. Please leave your comments down below. Let me know if I got anything wrong with the gameplay. Again, sorry for the not having it up on screen. I really need to make sure. I need a, I don't know, something that's like more indicative. Probably would have made sense. Like I'm holding it down here, like going like I'm right over the regular table. Just so you see what I mean by the table. By the way, I'm gonna go ahead and slide this out. Let's slide this out so you can see. So there's the card, and then there's the game. You know, there's the piece, and the game board. Yeah, and you can see like that would have just been really difficult to see. So, so impromptu gaming surface, which, as you can tell, is pretty large. What is it? What is down here, you ask? Well, you'll find out soon, because it will be part of Adapt or Die Week. Until then, ciao everybody, and see you later.